are. For all of you who are watching the replay, hey, how you doing? Just go ahead and type in replay. I am here, and joining me shortly is going to be three of my boys, and we're going to have just a pre-Shabbat conversation. We're going to be talking about, I don't really know all of what we're going to be talking about. I hope that it's not something that could potentially embarrass me. I don't know.
But
Because
we
I
are going to
don't know what they're
continue
going to talk
that
about.
thing about the safe places.
Safe places? I
Remember?
don't think we're doing that on this particular one.
Uh,
Although we can visit that like in one video before we shut things down today, because you do have your up for the video. Hey, I think you're in my seat, so you're gonna have to swing around this way. Maybe pull up another chair, or
Right.
maybe you can share. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we are on the Harry the Big Dog 100 video live stream challenge. That's right, 30 days, 100 videos, and this is video number 53. So exciting. So exciting indeed. I am the Jason Hodge, and I am joined with my sidekicks. And
we
then
have 47 videos.
we've got one more kick coming in, so that'll be like, I don't know, like a back kick or
Yeah.
a left kick, right kick. Okay, so somebody else is coming in to kick us, and that's the oldest of the three. So, yeah, today I just, we started a conversation, and then this one right here said, "Dad, we should really, record this." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess we could do that." And so, as to what we were talking about, he's going to have to remind me of what that was. But it was like we were on this like flow. We were really vibing, and I said, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." Okay, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that during the thing. What's up? Did you have something to say?
No, he's tapping me.
Oh, you're just tapping me?
No, I do have something.
You do have something to say? Okay, what do you have to say?
Well, what I have to say is that I'm wondering what else we could probably talk about.
What else? We haven't even announced what we're talking about first. So what do you mean, what else? How can we go to what else when we haven't had a what for? We're now into the what else's. Where'd you go? Anyway, okay, so we're in here in the saddle, and so we're gonna just dive in and talk about all things kids and you know technology stuff that they're into. I think I've shared with you before, and they may have shared with you before also, that they're really into stop motion, animation, drawing comics. They're really good at it.
And I'm a Jedi Master.
Right, and he's a Jedi Master. So I figured that, what better way than to really kind of talk about maybe some of the more behind the scenes things, because I like to have my kids think about like the business model behind what they're doing. So that way they're not just entertaining themselves, even though it's entertaining, but they're thinking on how they can build an enterprise out of it, whatever that is.
That was you said that when we were talking about documentaries.
Documentary, right? Okay. So, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So, Maya, okay, child number two, he mentioned earlier that, because I said, I'm not going to really push them into too many things. Okay, hold on a second. Push them into too many things. I said, I mean, I can, and at a certain point I will, especially on the stuff that I've gotten for them to take advantage of, trainings and things like that. But I told them that it was more important to me that they pick up the mantle because of their interest, instead of me now saying, okay, you're going to do this. I said, but they've got like a few weeks on that before I'm saying, okay, you got to go and do this. So he mentioned, he goes, well, some things that Dad, pushes us to do,
like documentaries.
Like documentaries. Okay.
When he started telling us to watch documentaries, at first documentaries got boring, but
could be bored on a documentary. I mean, they're so educational.
We were bored on documentaries at some time. Before we started getting into them,
Mhm.
and when we started watching documentaries, it started getting fun, and we got a bunch of stuff out of it, and it got very, very, very amazing. And so now we are actually into documentaries. Like this episode series on Netflix called Rotten. We probably have, I don't know, like one or two more.
We've seen that a number of times.
Yeah, we probably have about, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 more weeks until we have to get rid of Rotten.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
well, yeah,
Well, no,
regular
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah. Well, Rotten will be going by the wayside because yeah, we are definitely on that cancel bus on the Netflix
Yeah,
thing. So yeah, so once that last payment has run out,
well, let's
but
just
yeah,
hope.
so tell us about what have you learned inside of that documentary so far?
Well,
Because
I
it's more than just a movie that you're watching, right?
well, Rotten is a very good documentary series. There's like some of their episode series are like 45 or 40 or 30 minutes long each
Mm-hmm.
episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very good documentary series.
Which one's your favorite one so far?
The Milk was the most informative to me.
What did you learn about the milk that was that made it most interesting for
Like
you?
my favorite one because it was very epic was the peanut problem,
Mm.
but the milk one
Mm-hmm.
that was my favorite because it was more informational than the other ones that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the fact that there are and granted you may not necessarily be informed enough to give this a full-on answer, but then again, you may, because you guys get into a lot of stuff, and you surprise me on the things that you are learning. Um, but what are you thinking about all of these food allergies? Because there was a time when peanut allergies were rare, wheat allergies were rare. Folks didn't used to get impacted by these things, but now it seems like more and more people are coming
Mm-hmm.
up with these different types of sensitivities.
Like us, for example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys have a sensitivity to certain foods.
Wheat,
So,
dairy.
right. So now what what do you think about all of that, especially in light of the documentary that you looked at with the guy who ended up losing his life because the restaurant lied and said that they didn't have peanuts in the thing, but they
Mm-hmm.
ended up buying the peanuts
And
and
the
using it for their
guy, the
sauce
guy
because it was
Mohammed,
cheaper.
he
Mhm.
got fired and went to jail.
Oh, he ended up going to jail?
Yeah, for I don't
Oh,
know,
okay.
35 years or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, hey. I don't know that I'm really all that
Because
sad about that
he
because
owned two companies, and both of those companies,
Mhm.
people died because of some people
Wow.
died because of
Yeah,
the
that's pretty
peanut
bad.
allergies.
That's pretty bad. Okay, let me maximize this
Thing,
and
but
then
they
take
ended
the.
up buying.
Okay, so so then he ended up going to jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did you think about all of that? I mean, how did that impact you?
Well, I felt really bad for the guy that ended up dying
Mm-hmm.
um because of how the the restaurant lied and said that they didn't have any peanuts in it.
Okay.
And I felt really bad for the other people that got infected and probably died.
Okay. But what did you learn from it though? Because I
I
mean, it's one thing to
learned
feel bad about it, but
I
I
learned
want to
that
know what you took away from it.
peanut allergies are very severe,
Okay.
and you have to take it seriously when someone says that they have peanut allergies
Uh-huh.
because they could die from it.
Were there any solutions that were brought up? Were there any research developments that talked about how to help people with those type of allergies and sensitivities?
Yeah, it was just an EpiPen, I guess.
EpiPen. Oh, okay. I think I remember, but I'm not sure if it was in that documentary. But some research, they were actually taking the very foods that folks were allergic to and then giving it to them, but in a certain way that helped to build up their resistance,
That
their
was
immunity.
kind of, I think that was the milk one.
That was the milk one.
No, it was peanut.
It was the peanut. I
No,
thought it was the
don't
peanut
think, I
one.
don't think it was the peanut one because that I didn't hear that at all in the peanut one.
Huh. Okay.
It might have been the peanut one because I heard the doctor.
Right.
I heard her talking about something about that,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously probably the peanut or the milk one. That
Peanut and
was the
milk one.
thing.
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, and if you're joining us live, go ahead, pop your name and let us know that where you're tuning in from. And if you're on replay, hashtag replay.
If you're on live, you can just say you're live.
True. This is true. This is true. Okay. So then you learned a little about that.
Mhm.
What did you learn about the process though of creating a documentary? Like if I were to, and I know I'm putting you on the spot right now, but if I were to say, all right, Yumaya, so give me the components of a good documentary, what elements did you see in the breakdown of that production?
Um. Well, so you're wondering about the breakdown on the.
Yeah, like if you were to produce a documentary, which you will at one point. But if you were to produce one now, what different components would you say have to be involved in it in order
Mm,
for it to actually be seen on the screen and all of that?
well, for one, had to be child appropriate,
Okay, well, yeah,
and for
that's a
two,
given.
it had to have some type of learning in it,
Okay,
and something that had to deal with like wildlife or something with business or something like that,
okay, so wildlife or business. Okay,
or plants.
so so give me like pick one of those and then give me like a breakdown of what you see would be in there, and
Okay,
let's
plants.
flesh that out.
Plants. We are really experienced in planting.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to open up a workflow sheet, and then I'm just gonna, as you are building this out, I'm gonna sit here and type out the different pieces that you talk about. Okay,
Okay.
so let's see.
Okay, so
Create a new node. I just hit enter. Okay, boys projects documentaries. Oh, you can continue to talk.
okay, but is the
Mhm.
is the our
Oh yeah, they can see us. You see this right there? That lets you know that they can still see us.
yeah, I
Blue
know that they
lights.
can still see us, but can they see what you're typing?
No, they
Okay.
can't see what I'm typing. What,
Okay.
you want them to see what I'm typing? You want to divulge your trade secrets? Okay. All right, so go ahead. You're like, I kind of, well, no.
Well, I'm kind of telling them.
Well, yeah, but
But yeah. They have to
Okay,
see.
cool deal.
So
Okay, if you talk over there, they can't hear you.
okay, so plants for an example. We have a garden on
Okay, so you said plants. Okay.
Yeah. We have a garden in on our balcony,
Okay.
and we lined it up because we had to build our sukkah for Sukkot.
Okay,
Yep.
so balcony plants.
We
Okay.
have a plant. We have a bunch of plants and a big like
Okay, so plants in pots. What's that? Oh, containers. Okay, so container garden. Okay.
about we have about 4 bags of plants or of soil and stuff and
Okay.
worm growth and stuff like that.
Okay, soil. Okay, worm
And
castings.
so
Uh-huh.
we need some. We are using that stuff for our plants
Okay.
and also worm growth. I
Worm
like
growth.
worms. For some people that don't like worms because they're icky and gross and stuff.
Okay.
That's
Icky.
their.
Icky, gross worms. Okay.
They're not icky, gross.
Oh, I thought. Oh, so don't
No,
type that.
for
Okay.
some people
For some people. Okay.
that like that don't like worms.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry that you guys do not like worms. But I actually at Dower I didn't used to like worms before then, but at Dower
I'm gonna say, like, when we start going too far off, I'm gonna say like rabbit.
Okay.
Or a squirrel.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, because remember we're talking about the documentary. Like,
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just talking.
Still want to mention names of specific locations.
Okay. At my new school,
Now they know it's a school, and they can piece the two together. Okay, go ahead.
At my new school,
Mhm.
I was running and I think I caught a worm on my shoe because I slid and I saw this
You
part.
just caught a worm on your shoe. It was like running, and then your shoe just went out and just like a baseball mitt and caught the worm.
No, I
Catches.
guess. Oh no,
Catches worms
no, I don't catch worms.
on shoe. Okay.
No, I think there was a worm on the bottom of my shoe because I was running and then I
Okay.
slid
Worm. Okay.
and then there's like this piece of worm. I was like, oh no, and so I felt.
Pieces of worm.
And I
Okay.
felt bad for the worm, so I put it by some dirt so it could burrow and regrow itself.
Oh, okay. So you know that worms regrow themselves. So you knew that you did not relegate it to death by just having a piece. So you knew it was going to regenerate. Okay,
Yeah.
good stuff.
But I
Regrow.
felt really bad when the worm got hurt, and I was like, I ain't killing anything.
Okay.
I ain't killing any animals. I actually killed a spider last night, so I felt pretty bad about that.
Killed a spider.
Yeah, it was on my brother's computer, crawling, and it was like right there, and I was like,
Yeah, but you could have used the techniques that I. Okay, go ahead. All right, so now, so you've got worms, you've got worm castings,
Yeah.
you've got soil.
just because
Okay.
you don't like worms and bugs and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
take care of them. Don't kill them.
Okay.
Don't harm animals.
There you go. Don't
They have
harm
lives
animals.
too.
They have lives. Okay. All right. So now, question. You've got these components. Okay. So we said plants. You said balcony. Okay. I popped in container gardener because you talked about the containers.
Yep.
Soil, worm castings, catches worms on shoe. Okay. That's a side note. Maybe a little story. Okay. Pieces of worm.
That's the story.
Okay. Regrowth,
That's a
regenerate.
fact.
Okay. So now, fact. Okay. So worm facts.
What was in worm fact?
Well, I mean, that may be a component to it. Maybe you talked about
Facts
you
about
like,
animals and bugs.
well, yeah, okay, facts about, and then you talked about you like worms or growing worms or whatever. Okay, well, that sounds like vermiculture. Okay, that's worm growing. Like worm farming.
Worms are vermin.
Well, yeah, yes. Okay, so if I were to say vermiculture, right, or worm farming, then that worm farming is now an industry. So that may be a good research project as you're building out your documentary. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it could be a good research project.
Okay, research. What areas? What other areas would you research?
Well, I research about the details of worms
Okay,
and birds
details
because I'm gonna make a bird feeder for birds.
of worms.
Because we have a friend named Tummy. He likes to come and suck nectar out of
Uh-huh.
my aunt's plant. That she has a big plant. She got it, I don't know, a few months ago. I think
Okay.
sold it pretty well.
Okay, but birds like to eat worms, some of them. So if you've got details of worms and birds and how to feed the birds, well,
I'm
would you
not.
just feed the worms?
No,
I'm just checking because this can
No.
go really south really fast.
Dad. I get a bird. I make a bird feeder,
Uh-huh.
but I'm putting the worms in somewhere safe, like in there. That place right there. That could be a greenhouse.
It could.
That could be a
It could
greenhouse
definitely
for
be okay. So
plants
greenhouse.
for other stuff that need to be inside.
Uh-huh.
And so, like the worms, we could just put our compost and trash and our food stuff.
Compost
and
and
the-
trash.
Our food stuff.
Oh, food stuff. Okay.
Yeah, the
Compost.
food type of trash, not the
Okay.
paper.
All right.
Even though that can break down into soil. But
Right. Did you see that worm thing? That
yeah,
the time lapse. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Trash.
Yeah, we could
Food
have that
scraps.
thing and make a worm thing where a bunch of
Okay.
worms could have their thing. And
So how would you learn about doing that? How would you go about learning how to do that?
Well, I could just watch that guy.
Oh, okay. Watch the guy. Okay, so the expert.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what his name is, but I've seen you watch him for
Okay.
like a lot.
Worm expert guy.
It was the day that we were gonna watch the Red Sea movie,
Okay.
but it turned out we didn't want to watch it because it had too much bad words.
Yeah, we don't want the bad word stuff. Okay, so we've got compost food scraps, worm expert guy.
Mhm.
Okay, worm expert guy. And then, well, what would you do? Like, how would you go about researching this stuff?
I could go onto YouTube, or I
Okay,
could
YouTube.
search
Okay.
it up on Google or Wikipedia or somewhere
Okay.
deeper than that.
YouTube, Google, Wikipedia. Okay.
Someplace different. I don't know.
What other places can you think of? What are we doing right now?
We're conversating.
Well, yeah, we're conversating.
Well, we're talking about the topics of documentary of
What are we doing here, though?
Taking notes.
Okay. Or
Brainstorm.
brainstorming. Okay, so we're having a brainstorming session. Okay, we're kind of masterminding. All right, so you've got YouTube, Google, Wikipedia. Where else could you get some information that's relevant to your topic?
My pa.
Your Paul. Okay, Paul.
My daddy.
Oh, okay. So not like PAW.
No.
Like Paul.
My
Like
pa.
PA. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, Paul / Daddy. I hear he's a really cool guy. Okay, and then what's the other what else could you do? Because I may not know anything about this stuff. So now
You know a
you've
lot
got my
about you know a lot about planting and stuff. So
okay. But what I'm saying is that I have my limitations. So then, what do you do in order to verify and get more so you have a more rounded information?
well, I could ask you for recommendations of sites
Oh, okay.
to
Ask for
research.
site recommendation. Okay. Oh, that's weird.
Hmm.
No, I'm hearing Mandy's voice coming up through the microphone here. That's weird. Okay, site recommendations. Okay, where else would be a great um, resource for you to get information?
Um, maybe if I could make a translator program, I could talk about all the details of the movie.
Translated, put on
I'm
first.
kidding.
Oh, okay. A little sci-fi there, huh?
I don't have that kind of tech.
Okay, so what about maybe have you thought about, you said tech, so have you thought about technology, pre-existing technology that could get you that information? Every time you bump the table, then the camera's going to shake. You're going to give the people vertigo. Uh-huh. Okay.
No,
No?
I haven't thought about that.
Okay. So what about libraries?
See, this is why I have my dad here.
Yeah, but what about libraries?
Yeah.
Okay. How about
As soon as they
databases? Well, no, they are open. It's just that we have to access them online. Okay, how about databases?
What's that?
Databases are like when you go into a library catalog or something like that, they may have
Like
databases.
nonfiction?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're researching a topic like this, you may have a database or an association that deals with worms, deals with container gardening, deals with agriculture. So all of those areas, you may say, oh, let me check into those different areas. Or you may say, hey, I don't know where all to go, so I'm going to now find one area and then start asking them, hey, I need to learn this type of information. I'm making a documentary. What else should I know? Do you know the there's four quadrants to all possible knowledge? You know, do we ever talk about that? The things that you know, the things you know you don't know, things that you know but you don't know that you know them, and then the things that you don't know and you don't even have a clue that you should know them.
Well, I know those, but I don't know.
Okay, see, so that would be in the third thing, the things that you know but you don't know that you know. Okay, so now the issue that you're going to run into is the things that you don't know that you should know.
Yeah, the things that
Okay, you don't even know them and you don't know that you should know them, and then therefore you don't ask the question. So then you have to ask the questions on, you start with the areas that you don't, that you know that you don't know. You're like, hey, I know I don't know this information.
Like when you're supposed to, when someone is expecting you to ask a question, you don't know to ask a question.
Correct.
So you are just deer in headlights and you don't know what's happening.
You could be deer in headlights. Very true. So then the question would be, is that if you're deer in headlights and you don't know that you should know the answer, okay, to this question, how do you start asking the right question so you can get the information that you need? Okay, because that's going to be, that's where you're going to win or lose at this whole thing. Remember, you're doing a documentary and you want people to be able to watch the documentary. You want them to be engaged just like how you are engaged. So then, tell me some of the things that you notice in the documentaries. Give me the obvious stuff.
Well, let's see. Well, you obviously need a camera.
Camera. Okay, so let's write that down. Camera.
Obviously, you need a camera and a voiceover.
Camera and voice. Okay, so what's important about the voiceover? Why would you need a voiceover?
Like in Planet Earth or Rotten or any other stuff that have voiceovers that are documentaries, or even films that have voiceovers.
Okay.
You need a voiceover to narrate what's happening.
Okay.
Like if you have a narrative story, like Earth to Echo, for an example. You need to narrate. You have a voiceover and you need to narrate what's happening. Like this animator called The Odd Ones Out, he narrates and he makes his animation
Mhm.
as if his animation is talking, not he's talking, but he actually is having a voiceover,
Okay.
and his animation is moving and his mouth is moving at the same time,
Okay.
and it makes it like his animation's talking when he's actually talking.
All right. Okay. So then you've got that. We've got camera, voiceover, narrator. Okay. I heard animation.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're an animator, so then.
If you're gonna have an animation and a voiceover.
Okay.
Which
All
I'm
right.
going to do.
How many frames per second on an animation?
There can be 30 frames.
30 frames. Okay. So that means that you would have to do what for each second? Have how many drawings?
You have to have 30 drawings.
30 drawings. Okay. So 30 drawings. So then if your animation was like 10 seconds, how many drawings would you have to make up
300.
that? 300. Okay. So then if it was 100 seconds, which is
3,000.
1 minute. So 3,000 animations in order, or 3,000 frames or still images to make up a 100-second animation. So if you've got a narrator, yeah, well, that would be like 1 minute and 40 seconds. So say that a narrator is saying, in the wild, when there are antelopes and worms roaming free. Okay, so now you're counting out how long is it going to take for that guy to finish talking, right? And however long that is, if that's an animation, then you're like, okay, I got to do 3,000 images for this.
Just for a minute.
For 1 minute and 40 seconds. So question that I have for you is how can you cut that work down? So you still get the 3,000, but you get it done in record time. Yeah, if you wanted to get the images all drawn up, but you had to produce 3,000 of them, how would you do it in a short period of time to get the job done?
Would you have many people helping you?
I love you. That is so intelligent. So you're absolutely right. So then you have to parcel the work out. Well, how would you do that with animation? How would they be able to know what to draw? Because if you've got this concept, but there's nothing on the paper, and you've got to get 3,000 images drawn, how can you make it work so that everybody is on the right page so that it's a seamless process? I've got an answer for this, but I'm going to let him come up with it.
You could use stop motion for an example.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen Judas thing, if you haven't seen Judas video, my cousin's video where he was talking about animation and gaming, stop motion and gaming, and how he showed you that video of this guy Kubo, and how they were animating him and the thing so fast and stuff. Well, it was time lapse, obviously, but how they were animating the stuff.
Okay. Oh, look, Miss TC says, nice comprehensive list of sources.
Thank you.
Okay, keep on going. Stay on task.
So how they were animating him for it takes about 30 people just to make one puppet.
30 people to make one puppet?
One stop motion puppet.
Right. Okay, so that would probably be a great resource
just like 30
to plug in there.
Seconds.
Hey, Regina. Okay, so hey, TC. Hey, Kokisha. Let me see who else is in here. I'm going to say hi. Okay, good stuff. Yes. Okay. So we've got that. I think that we should supplement this conversation with that link in here so they can know what you're talking about, to see these are the type of things that you study when it comes to animation and stop motion. Okay. Decline. Okay. So, all right. So now you got that down, right? But you still haven't answered the question. You said stop motion, but that still doesn't tell me how you're going to knock the time down. How will you make it so that the folks that you have in there can be all working on the same project at the same time and you get the job done? Because I don't know what's in your head. So if you say, okay, Dad, I want you to draw, part of this, I want, my brothers to draw some of it, get Grant, Katie, get Judah, everybody's now drawing. Well, how do we know how to kind of make it all work together? We're all just kind of like drawing images now. How do you make sure that we have it standardized to take it from start to finish to get through that 3,000 slides?
Right. That's a good question.
Okay. Give me a few answers. It doesn't have to be right. Just think of something and let's see if we can flesh it out.
Okay, well, give me the question, but like a short thing.
Okay. So 3,000 slides, 3,000 pages of drawing, right?
Mhm.
Or gels. And you need to get this done in a short period of time. You already said the first thing that you would do is you would get other artists in there, right?
Mhm.
And the other artists will help with the process in the drawing. So my question is, how will they help when they don't know what to draw yet? And how can you make it so that everybody is drawing in their area without missing a beat?
Well, you obviously first have to do a storyboard.
Storyboard.
And tell
Ooh.
them about what
Okay.
needs to happen.
Okay, storyboard. Okay,
Before you start getting into action, you need to tell them what needs to
happen. What just happened?
Oh no! Okay,
All
we're
right.
still recording. Okay.
I hope so. I hope we're still recording.
Look, blue thing.
I know the blue thing, but
Wait.
okay, let me see.
I think we're still live.
Okay, let me see. Go.
Okay.
Okay, hold on 1 second. If we see that I waved, we know that we're both live.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
So now, okay. Okay, storyboards. Okay, so now you said a storyboard. So what would be on the story? And that is so brilliant. Okay, so we're gonna put in storyboard
Well,
on
let me just make something up, like for how I first got stitches.
Okay, how you first got stitches. That could be kind of a documentary. Okay, so we'll say example.
So,
Example. How he first got stitches. Okay.
I would be narrating of what happened, because I actually did a narrative story on how I first got stitches. Okay. I can actually show you guys. You want me to show them?
What? How you got stitches?
Well, I can show. I'm just showing them a narrative.
And then, oh, you mean like a screen share, or you mean, you know what? I don't. Is it on this computer or is it on the Mac?
It could be on either one.
No. I mean, is the file on this computer or is it on the Mac?
It could be on either one. That's what I'm saying. I can just.
Wait, is it already created, or you have
to? It's already created.
That's what I'm saying. So is it in the cloud?
No.
So I'm talking about, where is it actually stored? Is it stored on this computer or is it stored on the Mac?
Stored on whichever computer you are, depending if you log into Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft
it's in Teams. Okay, so it is in the cloud.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
I guess it is.
Okay, so hold on. Let me open up a thing.
Well, don't do it on this tab.
Well, I'm not gonna open it up on this tab. I'm going to let me open up a new tab. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll just open this tab right here. Okay. All right, so it's Teams. Okay, so we're gonna do
Microsoft Teams.
Okay, so I'm gonna let the genius handle the. Okay. Microsoft. Okay.
And then you just click this, I think. Yep. And I just sign in.
All right.
Doo-doo-doo.
Okay, bear with us, y'all.
Okay.
saying that you remember your password and stuff.
Yeah, I memorized it.
Mhm. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool deal. All right, so let's say they signed in. No. All right.
I was gonna press don't show this again because it always shows it.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Get
can
the
just use the
Windows. Use the
web.
web instead.
Yeah,
Yes.
because.
Okay. Sign
Wait.
in. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not being a happy camper. Okay, so we're gonna have to just explain it. Okay, because yeah, that's gonna take too long. All right, so
Oh, there we go.
okay, it doesn't work. Try signing out. Moment, wrong thing. Okay, anyway, so let's keep on talking because we don't
Yeah.
want to lose them.
Yeah, right.
So now, okay, so you go through and you're doing your deal, right?
Right.
And in the whole process of breaking down, okay, let me give you a way to look at this.
Yep.
If and I'll tell you how we used to do this in the studio. Okay,
Okay.
when we had a show that came in and we had to break down all of the graphics that were going to go on that show, we had a system. And what I would do is yeah, it's not cooperating. Yeah, I would take it and break it into categories, right? So in the category, I would say, all right, I know at this time in the show, from the beginning of the show, we're going to have like all these opening titles, opening graphics. So then all the opening graphics, they were in a series of 1 or 0 to 9, right? And so anything in there, I could have like, and I could expand it out as far as I want. I could say like the 0 series could be like their names, right?
Right.
The 1 and 1 point series could be like their titles, like PhD of such and such and such and such. Okay. The 3 series or the 2 series could be like any other elements, bugs, and things like that, like their logo or whatever. Right. So all of those things were broken up into different categories or sections. So then anytime that I wanted to now call up a graphic, I just pulled that. Okay. Now, what does this have to do with 3,000 images? Well, if you have it broken up, like you said in your storyboard may say, okay, in this scene, they're going to be doing this. So from seconds 1 through 10, this is the actions that's going to be happening. So then all I need is for you to draw these 300 because I'm now breaking it up into 10 different artists. So I would then draw at the beginning slide, this is the action that they're going to start with. This is the action that they're going to end with. By the time that we finish all these slides, I want it to end here. So all the action in between, you make that happen. Okay, but they have the starting and the ending. Now on the second set, from 20, so from second 10 to second 20, these are the actions that's going to start here and here. From section, 30 to 40, it's going to start here and here. And so you just keep on going. So you've got this thing broken up into 10 different sections where you've done the start and the finish. And then you can explain the vision of those different pieces to how to get from the start right here to the end of this first 10 seconds, the start of the next 10 seconds to the end of that second, 10 seconds, start of the 20 seconds, you go all the way until you hit 100 seconds. So now everybody has their marching orders. They all have your original work, and then they base their work off of that original work. So you create the platform for them to springboard off of. Does that make sense? Okay, so tell me back what you just heard.
What I heard was how I can make how I can
Okay, so let's do a visual. You've got the storyboard, right? So
Right.
then we're going to say 10 panes. Okay.
I can draw that for you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it faster because I want to show them. Okay. Okay. So I'm showing him like the 10 panes.
Six
Okay.
panes
Or well, 6 panes. And then you draw the beginning and the end of each one, and then you assign each one of those
in order.
panes, okay, you assign them to the artist. You could do one at the bottom, yeah. Okay. So now you're assigning to, okay, so this will be artist one, artist two, artist three, artist four, artist five, artist six, artist seven, eight, nine, and 10. Okay. Okay. All right. So now this is also how you can create a whole content calendar. I mean, there's so many applications for just this process. All right. So now on one, you have a set of things that you want this artist to do. Okay. This is what this looks like. This is how the characters start out. The backdrop looks like this. I want it to have this feeling. So then, based on what you tell them, the artist is going to understand, oh, this starts at nighttime. And now, so it has to have a little more blue in the coloring because it's nighttime. So what color is at night more than in the daytime? More blue light, right?
Blue or dark.
Or dark, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got that
right
blue
back.
light. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So he's asked to be right back. So I think he's gonna go and grab some of his tools or what have you. So let's see. And yeah, yeah. Okay, good. I'm live. Okay, so any questions that you guys have, please feel free to pop them in the comments. All right. So now, so you've got that going, right?
Mhm.
Now that you have that explained out to the artist, you'll say, all right, so we've got this. This is what I want to happen. Here's your marching orders. And now they're going to work and they're going to fill in all the stuff in between that first slide and the last slide that you created.
Right.
Now, the second artist is going to fill in from their first slide and their last slide everything that you've now described that's going to happen in that next 10 seconds. Okay. So then you do that, and each one of them has their marching orders. So now, how long does it take them? Does it take them what it would take to do all 3,000? Or does it take them the amount of time that it would take just to do 300?
I think it will take them just to 300.
Give it to me. Great. So yeah, so it'll take them to do 300. Now, why is that?
Because you have more people.
Okay.
And you have less stuff to worry about because you have people assigned to the job.
Okay.
Just like how when Mr. Elliot, when you're there with Mr. Elliot and the trees, and they're taking out the trees, there are a bunch of people. Someone's driving the thing. Some people are helping cut down the tree, and other people are helping with the safety and stuff.
Okay, so you're maximizing your what?
I want to say leverage.
Well, yeah, you are leveraging. You're leveraging people in order to maximize your what?
The number of people.
Well, you don't want. You're not looking to maximize the number of people. I mean, that's not the end goal. The end goal is you're wanting to do what? What do you want to get done? Right, what do you want to accomplish by having more people in?
Oh, well, you are trying to accomplish like the film or whatever job you're doing, or whatever.
Okay, let me ask it this way. By having more people in, what are the benefits of having more people in?
Well, you can get the thing done faster.
Nice. So you're maximizing your
Time.
so you're maximizing your time, you're maximizing your efforts, your energy, your resources, you're maximizing all of that by having more hands handling the same job, just different sections of that job. Okay? So you are effectively scaling, okay? Because you already know what needs to be done, and now you're plugging in the professionals to get it done. Okay? You
Okay.
have the vision, and then you spread that vision among your team of professionals to now knock it out. Right?
Right.
Cool. All right. So what else we got? Okay, so now we're back to the documentary. Okay, so we talked about one of the elements. You talked about animation.
Animation.
Okay,
Yes.
so what else would go into the documentary? What other components? What other elements?
Um.
Like
Has to
way
be a
out of
crew.
camera range, huh?
Has
Okay,
to
a
be
crew. Okay,
crew.
okay. So that's the behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so a
Mhm.
crew. Let me put that in. And then what is the viewer? What elements will directly impact the viewer? I mean, a crew would, but
Well, there needs to be good lighting
okay, lighting.
for your setting, and if it's dark when you're filming, you
Uh-huh.
have to have like a night vision camera on or something.
Okay, but all of that still is lighting. Okay,
Yeah.
so lighting. Okay, what else?
Um. No noise.
Okay, so no noise. But
Not
what if it
physical noise.
not fit? Oh, okay. So what's another word for noise then?
Distraction.
Okay, so no distraction.
We talked about this.
Right. Okay. So no noise.
At least not.
I.e. Distractions. Okay, so how would you minimize on the distractions?
Um. Well, if like for an example, in our movie Azariah and Kenley,
Mhm.
there were a bunch of clothes and stuff.
Okay. All right. So they were closed. So then what would you do to handle that?
Or
You
you
gotta
need
stay
to
focused.
take care of it. You need to take care of the clothes.
Okay. So then what would that be? That would fall under what?
Well, handling your chores.
Well, yeah. But if you're on a set, then what would that be? What would that fall under? You're way off camera. They can't see you. Need some help? Okay. That's set design. All of that's your set. So it's your set design. You're designing your set. You're actually designing the environment, the look and feel. How you want people to feel when they're watching your documentary. So then you take all of that into consideration. You know, if you're talking about worms and all of that, would you be talking about worms at the kitchen table? Would the camera be set up at a kitchen table, or
Be
where
set
would it be?
out outside in the garden
Outside in the garden?
or a
Okay.
field
Or a field? Okay. Why?
or in the rain.
Why?
Because worms live in the outside
Okay. So then worms live in the outside. So
field.
then what you're doing is you are creating what's called an establishing shot. So you put them in the mood, okay, or in the mindset of, oh, we're outside. Oh, they're talking about worms. Oh, so now you're creating the emotion behind your stuff. Okay. All right, good stuff. All right. Anything else that we should be thinking of? Anything else you want to talk about in relation to this?
Well,
Cool. We talked about cameras, we talked about lighting, we talked about narration, voiceovers, we talked about fields or establishing shots, setting the tone, backdrop, it's called. Okay.
and
You have to do that, you're kicking the table. So, yeah.
you have a clean set.
Clean set. Okay. All right.
Well,
So, set design. We talked
that's
about
still
set
set
design.
design. Yeah.
Okay. What about audio?
Yes, audio. You need to have good audio
Okay, good audio.
so people can hear what you're saying.
All right. Okay, well that's one thing, but what else? What else goes into audio?
Microphone.
Well, yeah, microphone. But what about the layers? Okay, what about the Who's in Rabbit's House story?
That's a bunch of layers. Well, we're not done
Okay.
with it yet.
Right. But so in those layers, what all can come into play in the layers?
Well, no, not cars.
Okay, well, I mean, if there's cars in the thing,
Not cars in the story.
right?
No
Okay.
mention of cars.
Okay.
Splashing for splashing.
Okay, splashing. Uh-huh.
Because rabbit gets in the pool like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times.
Okay. So then whatever action that's happening, you want to match that with the audio,
Mm-hmm.
and that audio is going on.
And do not have bad lip reading. Like, don't
Correct.
have the audio off.
Correct.
Because in this
that's the
movie called
word.
Underdogs, we were watching it on Netflix. The audio was so bad. The English version was horrible.
Hmm.
I bet you the Spanish version was way better. We put it on the English so we could understand it, but that was a bad idea because we were watching it
Hmm.
and the voice thing was off. They would talk. They would be like, and then you would hear it, and I
Hmm.
was like, me and my brothers cringed. Me and my brothers and my cousin, we cringed. We were like,
You guys are audio snobs. I could see.
yes.
Mm. Okay. So you got those layers. Okay. So then, and then, how about other footage?
Um, if you're not gonna be like doing it like a live thing, you could
Hmm.
like pre-record it and then just add it on to whatever site you're doing. You're
Do you
gonna
remember what that's called?
preparing it.
No, no. What's that footage called?
Tape.
Okay. But is it on the A roll or the B roll?
B-roll.
B roll footage.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, because the B roll is the footage that you bring in that supplements the A roll. The A roll is like right now, what we're on the A roll.
We're on air.
Okay. So then if we were to do an L cut, then we'd be talking, and then before we're finished, then we'd click over to another video and we'll still hear our talking, right? Wait, that might be a J cut. I mixed those two up because the J cut is kind of it's the same thing, but one precedes the other. So an L cut would be like I'm sitting there talking, and the next thing I think this is the L cut. Then you move into the next scene, and you still hear me talking, and then the scene will come in.
Yes.
Okay.
You told us about that to fix some stuff in our
Okay.
movie.
And then the J cut would be what then? I'm sitting there talking,
And then the
and
next
then
scene I'm talking.
well, no, the J cut would be it's the opposite. Same thing happens, but instead of I'm talking and then the next scene starts and I'm still talking,
The next scene. The first scene, it doesn't show you're talking, and then the next scene it shows you talking.
Right. Well, what would happen is that I would like be there, okay, on camera, and then you hear the next scene, but you're still seeing me, and then it'll cut over to the next scene. So the audio would come in before, and then the scene would come in. That's the J. The L would be the scene comes in,
like
and
L
my
is-
audio is still there.
I feel like the L is better.
It all depends. They're both really good. It all depends on what feel that you're trying to deliver. So, okay, so you've got that. So now you've got those different components. Now what else? You got to let people know who actually wrote this, directed it, produced it, and all that. The credits.
That's what we already did.
Okay, so the credits. Okay, so you did the credits. All right. And then what about uh, any like product placement and things like that? What is that, by the way?
That's sponsored.
Yeah, that's sponsored stuff. Okay. And how does that show up?
It shows about like I think the bottom of the credits.
Well, yeah, that will still be in the credits. But if you've got like product placement, like say for example, okay, you're seeing this box right
Home
there.
Depot.
Yeah. Well, they're not paying us, so we're not going to say their name. But
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so that would be like a product placement. So we're sitting there talking, and that's in there, and it just looks like a part of the set, right?
yeah.
Looks like a part of the set, but it may be intentionally put there. Although that wasn't, but if it were, then that would be like product placement. Or if you're sitting there drinking a soda and the name of the soda is present so that the camera can see it. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't always happen in documentaries, though. Documentaries usually is about the story and about the subject that you're working on. Yeah. Okay. So we'll now start to bring this to a close so that we don't kind of glaze folks over, so that you don't get glazed over anymore.
Glazed.
Glaze over. That's kind of like it's like okay, we're at that point. That's like that's
It's
yeah,
like,
exactly,
It's like
exactly,
on the table.
exactly. So now, what's your last words on this whole thing?
What's it called? Gravity Coffee or whatever it's called. The GC logo or whatever it's called. Gravity Coffee. Has anyone tried Gravity Coffee? If anyone's tried Gravity Coffee, let me draw the Gravity milkshake.
Yes. All right. So then, on that note, we're going to end this. And thank you for showing up for our live stream. I had no idea what we're going to talk about. I just
This
wanted
actually
to.
ends up to be my, I don't know, third thing.
It's your third one?
My
Yeah.
third one.
Okay.
Yeah, see this thing right here? GC.
Okay, you put it too close.
Sorry.
Hold on
GC.
1 second. Let me move it to the thing where you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Okay, see this thing right here? This thing? This is Gravity Coffee, guys. I tried it when we were doing Uber Eats. I was like, okay, I'll just have a taste. And then I had it and I was like, yuck. And I was talking to someone came was like, oh, she's like, oh, you can have a try of it, but it has milk. And I was like, okay, I'll just have a taste.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
so you see, the fact that you mentioned them would have been kind of like a product placement. Mm-hmm. So say that you had a deal with Gravity Coffee, and Gravity Coffee said, look, every time that you mention us in your broadcasts, we'll pay you $500, right? Then you say, okay, well, Gravity, I can mention you about 3 times per broadcast. So then you know that every broadcast you've just now secured 1,500 for each broadcast.
It's like Gravity Coffee, 100 times later. Gravity Coffee.
I knew a lady, or actually just met her in passing, but she had an Instagram account of a few thousand followers, and she was paid by a company to put up 3 posts per month, and she got $500 for each post. So that's how she monetized her Instagram account. Okay. And so now that's not to mention if she had other companies that were willing to do that because she had a laser targeted audience. So that's one way that you look at it. All right. So on that note, this has been me and one of my favorite sons. He's one of my 4 favorites. I am the Jason Hodge, and this is
Jeremiah Hodge.
And we will catch you later. Thank you for popping by. And when I come back, I don't know what the next child will be talking about, but my guess is as good as yours, or your guess is as good as mine.
I like this pencil, but I hate this eraser.
Why? Why do you hate the eraser?
Because it fell out and my leg broke.
It fell out and your leg broke?
My leg broke. My leg broke.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I probably hate that eraser too. Yeah. All right. See y'all.